And now one woman not from Russell McVeigh has come forward with her story. The harassment for Olivia Wensley got so bad apparently she ended up leaving law altogether. And she is with us. Very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
When was this?
It's been consistent over 10 years. So I first got admitted to the bar when I was 22, and that was in 2008.
And so you're not naming the firm. Was anything done about it specifically in your case?
It couldn't be. So what needs to be understood is that young women are just in a terrible position in law firms. They're in a no-win situation. If they report, I mean, I have gone to HR, obviously, when I was working at this firm, the first one that I was at, and there's just no action because they work for the partners. There's this complete imbalance of power. So, they act in the firm's interest.
Do they pay you lip service at the time and say, this is dreadful, we take this thing seriously, leave it with me and I'll do something about it? Do they say that, or do they not even bother saying that?
Not really. No. They defend it. They say, oh, he's just joking. Oh, that's just his sense of humour. They just try and defend it. It's quite appalling.
Did you work for more than one law firm?
Oh, yes. I've worked for several law firms. And I just want to make it clear that some places I've worked have been amazing, but it's just we need to start talking about this problem. It is an endemic in New Zealand and overseas. I've worked in Australia and Singapore as well, and it's quite consistent in the experiences that I know of, that my friends have experienced, and that I have experienced. It is a big problem.
I know it's a very broad question, but if we rounded up 100 female law clerks and said how many of you had problems, what do you think roughly would the answer be?
3/4.
Okay.
So, well, that's the statistics in Australia. What's really frustrating is the Law Society's failure to take any action. They haven't. I've never been asked if I've experienced that, and that's shocking. The Law Society in New Zealand should be surveying on this.
When you exited the industry, do they do exit interviews from the company and say, why are you leaving us? And you go, well, because of the treatment, and any of that or not?
Sometimes.
And you tell them, and when you tell them, what do they say?
It's completely futile. There's no point in even going there. I mean, I have in the past, but it's just, you get no action.
What is it about the law, do you think? I mean, it's clearly a thing within the law. What is it about the law?
Yes. Well, okay, think about the lawyers that you know. What kind of personality are they?
Well, the lawyers I know are mainly female, and they're all lovely, so...
Okay, no. Okay, let's. Most law firms have male-dominated, and it takes just a kind of personality to be in the law. It's predominantly sort of alpha males, and I think that's a big part of the problem, is that they've got this approach, and a lot of it is quite. Law is a really traditional profession, and not a lot has changed. And I think there's this real hangover, this sort of archaic approach, and it's just the culture hasn't changed in a lot of firms. So it's still like it's working in Mad Men in the 1950s, you know.
So it's not, do you hold out no hope? Because would you not argue that generationally speaking, all your millennials who are growing up in a completely different world will filter through the law firm, through the medical profession, through etc., and eventually it'll wash its way through?
You'd once think so, but there's a big problem with, I mean, a lot of firms, they don't have women that are being promoted through the ranks. Men are often being promoted over them. There's a whole raft of reasons that why women just aren't getting into leadership positions. So that's a real problem. And part of it is women are burning out. I know many women that have burned out, leaving because of how they've been treated in the law. And so there's just not that support at a grassroots level for the young generation coming through, because there's actually more women in law school than men.
Exactly.
But they're not filtering through to the top, so it's not good.
And they don't last in the profession. We talked to Marie Dyberg about that the other day, and she confirmed that. Olivia, appreciate your time very much. Olivia Wensley, former lawyer.